What's up, guys? I got NotTheWorst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today we're taking a look at the notes from the Calpheon Ball. I have a few tags from some Reddit posts, and then we're mostly going to be using BD Foundry's right up here, which is absolutely excellent. If you want to check it out for yourself, there's a link in the description down below, or if you just want to follow along as we go through it. I'm not going to read actually exactly everything on here. Some of it is superfluous, some of it is doubled up on here twice because people ask the same question that they've already answered and things like that. So we're going to get the short and sweet version of each thing that's going on. Something to mention, and this does get mentioned a bit later on, is that the focus of this Calpheon Ball they did address is going to be more of an open discussion versus what we're used to seeing as a roadmap. You'll see later on they did mention that they apologize for the formatting of previous ones where they make these promises of things that they're going to deliver that aren't actually quite as close to production, and then of course, as we know, things change or get scrapped altogether and we never hear of it again, or at least for a very, very long time. This is no longer going to be the case, at least so they say. I've been burned before, PA, so we'll see. They want to now showcase things that are actually very close to being pushed into development, and more of an open discussion, and then have updates as far as like future things like that, maybe presented in late night talks moving forward, instead of just always the Heidel and Calpheon Ball, to hopefully eliminate some of the bad taste in people's mouths from, hey, this thing is coming out, looks great, this looks great, this looks great, and then, where is it? Before we jump into the content, though, make sure you do grab these coupons. These are only valid until January 31st, so you got a little over a month to go and pick them up, but of course they're absolutely ridiculously good. You have 2 J hammers, and each of them is going to come with an advice of Valks. One comes with a 100 stack, the other comes with a 150 stack, so click away on that. You're going to get yourself 7-Day Book of Old Moon and Blessing of Karmasilv, and then as if the J's hammers weren't enough for you, you'll have an additional 1,000 crons as well, and you're going to have a 3-weapon exchange coupon set given out for those. We've got Twitch drops coming up again December 13th, so feel free to check out the stream, link in the description down below. If you want to get those going on, you can definitely AFK in the stream and just hang out and get those accruing as always. We're going to have a special character tagging event where it's only going to cost 1 Marnie fuel. More information will be added later. That's all that was said directly of it. I have heard rumors of it'll be something like 1 Marnie fuel plus consuming a weapon exchange coupon. That's not confirmed. I've just heard that in the rumor mill lately, so we'll see. But they want to do this with the class reworks coming around, so that people have the opportunity to change their tag class, or if they haven't already, go ahead and tag one for essentially almost free, to be quite honest with you. Other than that, we've got the Scroll of Equilibrium, which is pretty much a legit full-on reroll to a different character if you want. This scroll is going to actually switch over from one character to the other, HP, breath, and strength, as well as combat and skill, XP, inventory slots, and weight as well. So instead of just moving the XP like we've seen in some coupons given out before, or even available in the Pro Shop, this is truly a full-on reroll from one to the other. It moves every single thing, including that inventory and weight, which I know a lot of people are very happy to hear, since they want to get some of their value back off of one into the other. Other than that, they've got the Winter region released, and they've got some sneak peek clips of it in general. We'll take a look at one in just a little bit for it coming up here. They're quoting early 2022 globally, approximately March, and then do note on this, a global release was not possible for the region due to translations and localization, but it'll be coming to Korea very, very soon. So the way that's worded, just keep in mind, early 2022, approximately March globally, which means Korea should see that ahead of time, so we'll at least have some idea of it. A few pictures there, and then there's something, the story environment, we're not going to obviously drill down in that. The monster zones for it that they do address on it is designed to have a little bit different mechanics than running in circles, and like we're used to. Like, I actually don't mind doing myself, but it is what it is. The new monster zones are going to be solo, and the first zone is called Labyrinth, and although it's a solo monster zone, more players that are around you will give a higher chance to spawn a boss. It's going to be a spider queen monster type boss, and then the players are together will work around to actually kill the boss from there and get the rewards should it spawn. The next zone is similar to like an escape or a prison room kind of breakout type of thing. It's going to be more of a PvE dungeon. They say it was inspired by Dungeon Keeper. I'm not familiar with that myself. Then they've got another monster zone that's going to be similar to the Stars and Crystals that we've seen. And then another monster zone with green gem monsters that was shown in the trailer for it. And they're going to explode when they're killed and damage the other monsters around them. While you're grinding, you can come across some random events. A large blizzard can appear, and the Guardian of the Void will come to challenge you to get you some extra rewards for killing those. That's what we've got for the snow area. Next up, we have a new gear slot, and you're actually going to have 2 of them. It's called the Artifact. These are going to be somewhat customizable items that you equip, and then you can kind of change how they interact. So it's going to be 2 slots for this, and they're designed to be, quote, good luck charm that can add more customization to stats and allow more versatility to your build. Each artifact can be infused with light stones, which are similar to crystals, but will not be destroyed if you died. The stats can be things like HP, evasion, accuracy, etc. There's going to be multiple options, and players can mix and match the light stones to create what they need. Light stones can also be leveled up and enhanced as well. This actually kind of does at least make some of the passive changes for some classes make a little bit more sense, so that you could potentially be picking up what they lost in the passive, I guess, with these, depending on what the stats are that you decide to go with. New gear items, this one I was definitely looking forward to. The Fallen God helmet, which is going to be called Deborekah helmet. Not, I guess, a lore thing as far as why it's not called Fallen God. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with any amount of lore. So that is going to be added along with the new region. So again, Korea looking a little bit earlier than March, and hopefully everyone else for the global release, March 2022. I say hopefully because they actually didn't quote specifically then. They said early and maybe around March, so it's entirely possible it gets pushed back. Who knows? Helmet has a unique set effect, which can be used with the new Blackstar sub-weapon, which has also been shown and will be similar in PvE when compared to a pen Kutum. The Deborekah Belt will also be introduced, and this item is going to drop from Crypt of Resting Thoughts and Odalita. It's got 24 AP and at 12 accuracy at pen. Just for reference, a pen Tungrad belt is 21 AP, so you're looking at 3 higher than what a Tungrad can actually do. Here's your stats for your pen Deborekah helmet from there. And then as far as the actual comparison on a Blackstar offhand, they have the Tet version versus a base pen Kutum here, and then you have a C20 pen Kutum versus the pen version of the of the Blackstar. As far as the actual difference here, notably there's 2 accuracy less on this, and then as far as what these are on this, it's 62 monster damage on the Kutum, 67 on the Blackstar. Then you do have, this is 5 monster damage reduction on here, which obviously you don't have. And then it does say this is HP plus 60 for this, but actually a C20 Kutum has that as well. It just gets listed in here as well. So you have a 2 accuracy versus the Kutum, a 2 accuracy trade out for essentially 5 monster damage and 5 monster damage reduction as well. So up to you where you want to go with that one. And then we've got a picture there of the Deborekah Belt as well. For transport, we have snowboarding. In the snow region, transporting around the map will be difficult due to the terrain because of this. Players are going to use a snowboard down the mountains, and we have a clip there, and then kind of gives you a little snow region going on. So we see our guy here just zipping on down, like it's a PlayStation 1 snowboarding game, I suppose.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a thing. Moving on. Developer talk for new classes. Although the Wukong class was data mined recently, and actually in stream last night, it was almost one of the sole topics that came up. People were just talking about it, and even myself, I literally kept saying it's 99% chance they're going to release a new class along with this. Although I've often said I think that would be a mistake in the heat of the class reworks. They actually ended up saying that they're not going to do a new class because of the reworks that are around. They did end up showing a picture. Can't tell you for sure if they actually meant to eventually show this or not, but it said it was in early stages of development. You can take from it what you want. You've got pretty obvious like dragon type outline. You got horns on this. There's an actual dragon on her side, and then of course this giant sword with sort of wing or talon like things hanging off of it. So this looks like some sort of like dragonkin type dragon fighter, something probably really cool in general. But that's what they leaked with it, and other than that, currently no new class done whilst the class reboot is in progress, is what they said. Hideout Ball roadmap. This was a session where they kind of talked about things that we were talked about in previous balls and then went nowhere. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is where they admitted they were too ambitious at the previous presentations and are sorry for the lack of content and empty promises. Hopefully the new format doesn't do that anymore, but again, we'll see. The 10v10 crew content is planned to be coming after the Solaire Arena. Some of the other content's been put on hold for now, and more updates will be coming soon. That Solaire Arena is going to be 3v3 and 1v1 ranked arena, and plans to come very soon, and we'll have ranked matchmaking. The matchmaking is still in development, but a concept image has been shared below. The arena is going to arrive with 2 maps. One of them is going to be more open, while the other one's more crowded and chaotic. Ranking system will have rewards, and the ranks will be per character instead of for your account. The area will be coming as soon as it is ready and will be released globally in all regions at the same time. Then we can kind of see the ranking board there showing what characters what for their internal testing. Then as far as red battlefield updates, they do have plans for that coming as soon as possible. Valencia city map is still in development, can be more like a war zone in the city streets. We've got the mythical unicorn still in development, and showcase is going to come as soon as it's ready. They're not there yet. Calphion Elvia Realm still in development and is going to be after the winter region is done. And then the Blackstar Raid and Calphion Elvia will be the main focus once that zone is actually out. We do have a little clip of the troll monster zone that was shown for Calphion, so you can kind of check that out. Unfortunately, I do have screen check turned up to the maximum, so might have a little bit of a headache after watching this one, but you get the idea. I mean, we know what trolls are, and we know what shaky cam is. We get it. Terror of the Abyss. This is the monster zone where your vision range is reduced while fighting monsters. If you die, you lose 50% of the loot. Content's still planned, but it's still in the early development stages, so nothing soon about that one. Mini server development is completed and may be coming with the new winter season as well. The mini servers have already been used in other regions and may be used with events or as a reward for events in the future. And the next season servers will be coming at Christmas. I believe the December 22nd Reworks is going to have a season launch along with it, which makes sense. If people wanted to try out new classes that way without just the tag, that actually does make sense, especially if you're not going to be launching a new character like we thought. For PvP content, straight up, there are no plans to change the karma system in any major way just yet. They did share a clip of the RBF map if you want to check that out. For Node and Siege War, building forts can be annoying, especially in Medea, where the terrain is uneven and there are a lot of rocks. They're hoping that the remote install for forts will help with this. A ping system for Node War and Siege War is coming. And then there's an issue where Shy can't use DP gear due to the stat caps in Wars. They stated that they're continually monitoring these stats and that they'll be changed through natural progression of the game, but changing the stats specifically for each class isn't something they can do right now, so they don't. Lifeskills, this was a big one for a lot of people. They address the amount of money you make in comparison to grinding, and although they want grinding because it's far more active in most cases than the actual events for life skilling, or some of them, they want grinding and any type of active play to, of course, outweigh AFK activities, which just makes sense, but they did agree that it's obviously been falling behind in comparison to where it just doesn't make sense. It was brought up that even some life skillers now straight up grind, even though they don't want to, for it because they cannot make the type of money that they do. So they are going to be addressing that, but not until after the Mountain of Eternal Winter, the snow region, is released as well. So that's another one that's going to be something after that. And ice fishing is being added into that region as well. They address things like hunting, so that Kaffir stones are going to be added along with that, addressing whales and calcs. So again, something that's being planned, but not exactly right around the corner. We've got other updates that are a higher priority there. Monster zones and items, unpopular spots need to be reworked. They did say that Kama, Sylvia, and Drieghan are planned to be updated soon. Update's not going to be as dramatic as the Valencia update since those have good item drops already. Okay. For the spots that used to be popular but aren't busy anymore, like Mirmok adjustments, they'll bring back to the original appeal. Gyfin Lower Zone will be revamped to a solo dungeon concept. I think that's a great idea. That place is dead. Prodigy Cave, Oregon, Secrea Upper Level were also mentioned, and they're hoping there's going to be more options for players around 240 to 270 AP. I mean, Valencia is so good for that range right now. I don't know that it's going to matter that much. Treasure items, there are no plans to add pity systems to other treasures at all. They did say that they thought about it, but they just didn't want to. They felt that the infinite potions were mandatory, which this is in line with when they decided to release the pity system. So they've just gone ahead and doubled down on that. Some quality of life and other stuff for console only. Game version for next-gen consoles is under development, and right now they're really focusing on optimizing for older consoles as well. So take that however you want to. That's being worked on. January 5th is going to be the class reboot for the consoles as well. It's going to be focused, the optimization issues will be focused, and content will be coming as soon as possible. RBF is currently disabled. It's going to be back as soon as possible. A bit ambiguous. Future release dates may be changed, but the content will be coming in the original order as soon as the issues are resolved with these. QOL, just costumes used to be developed one per month, and now we're getting one per week. And even with this timeline, there's still a lot of classes, and it takes time for each class to get a new costume. They are redoing the Guardian original costume design here, which looks pretty dope. I imagine this will come around with the snow region as well. Here's an all-class costume that looks super flippin' goofy. Kuno Ninja costumes here. We've got a pretty dope Berserker costume, and whatever the heck this is. Ataraxian loot is not guaranteed, and some parties have to kill Kraton 5 times because someone in the party doesn't get loot, or players turn off loot so they can pick theirs up. Perlwest said they came across the same issue. They're addressing that. Skill add-ons are going to be listed in a skill window so that they're easier to read. I think that's a great idea because it gets annoying going through them, especially if I don't have an up-to-date screenshot and somebody asks me what I'm running. I do tend to change around my add-ons pretty frequently. A lot of players asking about the Black Spirit Adventure board reset. They said they're not going to be resetting, but instead getting a second list of completions that'll be added soon to it, but not necessarily a reset to the board. Lifeskills guild quests are neglected and too tedious. They're aware of this also, and we'll be looking into it. And then there was mentioned about a new game engine that was developed for Crimson Desert. Are they going to use it? They said the Black Desert engine is improving at the same time since the two engines are so similar. For example, climbing walls was added to the new engine. This may now be also possible with the Black Desert engine as well. So kind of a skirt around to no, it's not going to be used, but we continue developing the engine that we're currently running on. Then for the Q&A, and we're not going to go through all of these because some of them were just silly or redundant. Are we getting tier 5 pets? They said yes, and then we want the tier 5 pets. It's being delayed, and we want them to be something that's not compulsory, but you get it if you want to, so not necessarily something that's like have to have. I'm not sure if that means like the loot pickup times are going to be the same or like it's not a very big impact to the loot times. I can tell you even if it was fractions of a second, I'll probably just do it because I grind a lot, and that's going to eventually matter. Since the Valencia Red Karma content, there hasn't been any update to Bandit gameplay. Will there be any future content for Red players? No. They just said no, they're not. They don't plan to plan around Red players in general, and they don't want PK to be the first option to start with. An Alpaca mount was teased earlier. We'll be able to breed the new mount. Initially, they just said you have to play a Shy for it, but maybe they'll change their minds later. That's about all you got on that one. There's going to be more usage for alts. Essentially, they said no. RBF has dead maps and FPS equals DPS is still a problem. They already went over RBF earlier. The FPS and DPS is still a problem. Not sure how to fully fix the issue. They're fully aware of the issue and are trying to make the difference smaller so that it wouldn't make as much of an impact as far as with class reworks and class interactions. It's never going to be perfect. I think we're well aware of that, and it's likely just always going to be a thing. More service for other regions, potentially yes for that. Rewards for RBF and PK. Already addressed RBF and PK, no. Are there plans to improve all the bugs in the Great Ocean content? They want to address bugs before they produce any more ocean content. Lag and FPS issues and large-scale content. They're pretty aware of this as well. They believe that this is because they find that there are an influx of participants with preseason and the reworks coming up. They're going to look into it moving forward. Traveler map and Archaeologist map split cooldown was a question, and a big one at that. They're aware of splitting the cooldown between them, but they're worried that there's potential of abusive play if they allow it to happen, so they're going to discuss it and then see if it's something players want. Players want it, I can tell you. Players want it. This one kind of took me for a loop rather, blew me away and took me for a loop, blew me for a loop. Can infinite pots be added to family inventory? No. They're not going to do that. I don't actually get this one. Why not? It's just obnoxious. Like, we already have the pot. Why do I have to, like, ship it through maids into a storage and then back to another character if I decide to use it? I think it's a little bit silly. In my opinion, just put it in the family inventory and be done with it. But no, they said no. I don't know where this question came from. Are there plans to add NFT? Somebody get that neckbeard off his computer. I can't believe you asked that. Global Siege was a lot of fun. Will there be more events? They plan to, but COVID, so there's that. JP Hedgehog and Global Hedgehog are different and don't give the same ability. Can you fix it? They're cash items? No. Can the Old Moon and Common Silver Blessing be merged into the value pack? No. And hairstyles, no one cares there. So there you have it. Overview of what we've got to look forward to in the much more near future than what we're currently used to. My overall feedback from this, like I said before, I've been burned before, so I mean, sounds good. I really want the ranked arenas. I think I've said that a million times on stream. As far as the biggest thing, Fallen God Helm, I've been prepping for enhancing this thing as that comes out. I did not necessarily see the Blackstar sub-weapon coming, although I know the whole thing about we saw it in a Nova, a Blackstar offhand, and of course it's been talked about extensively. I just truly didn't know what they were going to put stat-wise to implement it to not make it just strictly better than Kudum, but the answer was 2 less accuracy and then strictly better than Kudum. And obviously just another route of, do you want to go C20 on your Kudum, or do you want to get the Blackstar, or you don't care because you just live with the Nuveron anyways and it's irrelevant. So that was the route that they went there. Definitely still excited for that nonetheless. Gives me something to go for. The Jace hammers are going to sit in my inventory likely until these items are around so that I can use them on that, since I have 2 Pen Black Stars and a Tet Fallen God. I'm not going to waste them on a Pen Fallen God attempt, of course. The snowboarding is kind of whatever. This specific class looks super cool. It's right up my alley for this type of thing. Darker Knight is the common name floating around right now for it, which is probably why I like it, since I main DK. As I said, the arena is definitely big for me. The PvP content outside of the arena stuff, I didn't feel there was a lot of talk about it in general. They do talk about reworks, and knowing that the reworks
are overall disappointing, and they say that they're just going to continue working on it after it goes to live servers. I'm going to probably doubt that one very much just based on past history. Hope I'm wrong, but I'm probably not. I don't see that actually happening. And then a lot of the other stuff is really just, yeah, this is a thing that we'll be working on, but let's get to the snow region first, bring these other items and these things. This is what's going to happen in the next quarter or so, give or take a bit. The new gear slot artifact, definitely pretty okay with this, especially with some passive changes. DK lost 7% accuracy passive, so maybe we can make it up a bit with that, and so on and so forth. And then obviously new zone. Everybody's always going to be excited about that. So overall, what I like, and I've actually seen some feedback to the contrary, I like that they've changed the format of this. Whether they stick to it or not, again, it's been so many times that they don't. It's hard to believe that they will at least meet these timelines. I do like that they gave roundabouts and didn't say, March 2022, global launch of the snow region. I would have been pretty disappointed, obviously, if they say that, lock into that, and then that doesn't happen, because it very, very well could not happen. So at least we're staying a little bit non-committal, didn't give exact dates, which is where it should have been, and also didn't give content that they're actually just barely looking into, and even addressed some of the ones that's these are still early development stages, we're not really touching it. It's something that's on the table, but we're not really doing it. So it makes it feel a little more focused. I know people were saying this was a much more boring ball, but in my opinion, I like this better because there's no wishful thinking part. It's literally just focused on, this is what we're doing over the next few months. This is what you're going to get in the next few months. And then anything else is going to be after that, and we'll deal with that at that point. And then maybe talk about the dreams of things that people want or whatever in these late night talks or whatever moving in the future. So pretty good overall for it. Hopefully don't get disappointed with the release of things being delayed, but we'll have to see. Let me know what you guys think about anything in here in the comments. Get a little discussion going. Maybe a viewpoint that I wasn't really looking at. I'm sure there's going to be some takes all over the place for it, so interested to hear that. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you'd like to catch me playing live, get those Twitch drops starting the 13th, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description down below. Jump on over there, drop a follow so you get notifications for that as well. With that said, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.